everyone. It's a real good morning because we are at Kings Island outside of Cincinnati, Ohio. You got the Windseeker going in the background, the fountains on International Street, of course the Eiffel Tower. It's the legend and Molly coming at you. We're going to show you all around Kings Island, the rides, the roller coasters, the food, the shows, anything we find neat or interesting. We're going to show you around this park, and I like this park. I think it's a good time. Let's check out some of the rides. Let's talk about the newest roller coaster here at Kings Island, and that is, of course, Mystic Timbers. Here's the big, curving, over 100 feet tall first drop on Mystic Timbers. So here comes Mystic Timbers. It's a very difficult ride to get on because it takes place in the woods and all over the rivers and over the Whitewater Canyon River Rapids ride. But the ride is great. This is a fantastic ride, a really fast, really long GCI roller coaster. For me, I think it is probably the best roller coaster GCI's ever built, at least the ones I've been on. And I've been on quite a few of them. And I loved it. They got a big cheesy finale with What's in the Shed, a very kind of monster, very Universal-esque kind of screen thing going on. But also, you know, it gets you out of the sun. So I like that, also having different endings. I think this is a big win. I think it's probably my favorite ride at Kings Island. This and Diamondback is really close, but I think I'm going to go with Mystic Timbers as my favorite ride in the park, probably for its creativity. Molly, not the big coaster person, but what did you think? I
really like it. It was way longer than I expected it to be, honestly.
Oh yeah.
I like how each ending is different, and you know, there's alternative endings, and
makes the re-rideability. We've only seen 2 out of 3, so we're gonna have to go back on again. I have to imagine it's probably a fabulous night ride. If the weather holds out, definitely need to get a night ride on it. But big thumbs up to Mystic Timbers. Ladies and gentlemen. The park's big, bad B&M inverted roller coaster is Banshee. And some people don't really like this ride. I love this ride. I think it's super fun. For me, I've been on tons of B&M inverts, and this is my 4th favorite. So good ride. And a big, big steep first drop. And it drops down, goes right into this giant Immelman dive loop element. Into the picturesque loop around the lift hill. And then this goes on for another giant half of the ride that exists in like a ravine and stuff. This ride's kind of unique because it has the more of the wing coaster vest restraints. So some people don't like that, but for me, I like it because you know that this ride will never get that headbanging kind of feel. So big thumbs up to Banshee. Also, gotta love that in the queue for Banshee is the eternal flame that burns in memory of Son of Beast. Like a really great theme park dork detail there. I'm a big fan of Diamondback here, the park's giant B&M hypercoaster. It's my 2nd favorite ride in the park, and I think it is also my 2nd favorite hypercoaster I've ever been on. And we're gonna show you what's really its most unique element right here, as it's gonna come in for the big water splashdown. Snazzy. Great airtime, fun layout. And Molly, what do you think of this one?
I really like it. I agree. It's one of the better ones.
Yeah, and I like the prettiness too. Like cool waterfall area over there. Big thumbs up to Diamondback. Let's see it go down the first drop here. Not a great angle for the first drop from where I'm standing at now, but not terrible. I'll show you a better one in just a bit. The next ride to talk about is a fun one, and that is the Backlot Stunt Coaster. So there goes Backlot Stunt Coaster, and this is actually a ride I really like. First of all, I was surprised because the rumors on the internet had been like, these throughout the Cedar Fair chain that a lot of the effects aren't working, and this one is actually in pretty decent shape. It's rather surprising. You have the cop cars with their lights flashing and things like that, and then when you get to the big show scene, the big show stop, it actually was not in too bad a shape. And that's going to take place right here as that train goes up there. The helicopter, which does not move, but it does, the thing rotates. A whole bunch of guns shoot at you as you stop for a minute, and then this is going to happen. Wait for it. Kaboom, and then you go off. Like it's a really cool ride, and as somebody from Orlando that's a big fan of theme parks, I love any sort of ride with theming elements, so I actually really like these rides. So for my money, the scariest ride in the whole park, Windseeker. This thing takes you up 300 feet in the air, spins you around. You get a fantastic view of the park as you spin and look down 300 feet. I'll do these rides, but they always give me the heebie-jeebies. I can't wait for them to be over. Molly, no problem at all.
I like them. They give you such a unique view of like Racer and Vortex, and I find them fun.
One thing I like about this version is that they have a soundtrack on there. So as you're going on, there's some sort of orchestral score, some for movies, some for not, and it makes the ride more fun. This big orange roller coaster here is the Bat, formerly known as Top Gun and Flight Deck, and it's awesome. It's an old aero suspended coaster. Not many of these. I think there's 3 in the country, and that you hang below the track and your cars swing. If you haven't been on one of these, they're really neat, and I think this is actually the best one in the country right here. There it goes, and it's fast too. It goes 50 miles an hour. Only problem with this ride is it's kind of short. You know, from the top, when you drop off the lift to the end of the ride, it's probably 30 to 40 seconds, but it's really, really, really fun. You see the cars swinging there. Also, the ride is back in the middle of nowhere, like way, way, way off in the corner here, so it's a bit of a hike to get back here. So by far the park's most iconic roller coaster, the legendary Beast. Very, very difficult to film, so I'm really not going to film too much of the ride, because you can't, because it's all in the woods. Opened in 1979, still the world's longest wooden roller coaster, and I love this ride. I will say, you know, over the years they've added a whole bunch of trim brakes to it, so it doesn't run as crazy as it once did, but it's iconic. It's through the woods, tunnels. It's still really fast in some parts of the ride. I absolutely love the Beast. Molly, what are your thoughts?
I like it. Slow lift hill.
Yes, the first lift, very, very slow.
That's why it's the longest, because it takes 3 minutes to get up there.
It is the longest lengthwise. It doesn't matter how fast you go off the lift hill, Mom. But yeah, I love it. You can't come to Kings Island and not ride it. Also, it has the most iconic night ride out of any coaster, I think, anywhere. So really hoping we get one of those come sunset later on. There are 2 roller coasters in the X-Base section of the park. In this giant warehouse building here is the Outer Limits Flight of Fear, an indoor, in-the-dark looping roller coaster with a big old launch. It actually has a nice queue. It's got a cool indoor queue with some alien theming. Ride itself, it's fun. The seats are a little tight. You thought it was kind of rough.
I did think it's a little rough.
I like this one. I like it. I wish I had more. I wish that the queue's got a really great theming element, but the ride itself is completely barren of theming. So I would like to see some audio in there, some cheap like rock and roller coaster style effects, or even just some like plywood cutouts that would pop up as you flip by with some soundtrack. It can make this ride really fun. Up next is Firehawks, the park's flying roller coaster, and here with her review of this is Molly.
It's the worst coaster in the park. It's not good. I'm not a fan of flying coasters, and with ones that you start off on your back, they're so uncomfortable. It's not a good ride. It's definitely a skippable ride.
Also, with both Flight of Fear and Firehawk here, they have very limited capacity, so these are definitely rides I would suggest hitting earlier in the day.
Or not at all with this one.
Or not at all, if it was up to Molly. Want to get a quick shot here of how the trains worked on this one. So right now you're in the position you ride in. This train just came back into the station, and it's going to flip back into its load position. There it goes. You just get to see the seats climb on up. And then you get on and off the train like that. This big bad roller coaster is Vortex. Not the biggest fan of these older looping roller coasters with the big horse collar restraints on them. Tend to be a little bit on the rough side. I actually had a decent ride on this earlier, but not one of my favorites in the park. Still some pretty elements, like these 2 double loops right here. Very pretty in a classic coaster way. Now I will say, and I feel this after going on Blue Hawk at Six Flags Over Georgia, which is one of these old headbangy roller coasters that they retrofitted with the newer vest-style restraints where they don't bang your head. After that, I want every one of these roller coasters that is like this to get the new vest restraints, because that is the so much of an improvement. So if Kings Island would go and do that one season, that'd be fantastic. On Boo Hill is the park's interactive shooting dark ride. One thing that I found interesting about this is that it's one of the few rides outside of Orlando that uses like that Omni Mover system. It's something very, very rare that you see outside of the Orlando parks, especially the Disney parks. So that's cool. And any time you get a chance to shoot Clint Novak, that's a good time too. He's in the ride. When it comes to rides, I have no desire to ride here at Kings Island. Congo Falls is at the top of that list. The traditional Shoot the Chutes big boat ride with a big wave, gets everybody soaked. Not a real fan of water rides, especially soaking water rides, so this one doesn't do anything for me. Also, there's not a whole lot of ride to it. You just go up the lift, turn around, come down, and boom, you're done. So not my favorite, but if you're a fan of water rides, this one's for you. Without a doubt, my least favorite roller coaster here at Kings Island is Invertigo, which is a Vekoma inverted boomerang roller coaster. Now, the one thing I like about this style of boomerang as opposed to the other ones, the one redeeming quality this ride has, is you can sit forwards or backwards, and then you can also sit facing somebody, so it makes the ride a little bit more fun if you're riding with a group or something like that, so you get to sort of see their face as you're forced to go through all the loops and things like that. So that is you know, a couple of the redeeming qualities here, but still not my favorite. Do like the paint scheme though. I think that's a snazzy paint scheme. The ride logo could probably use a best coat of paint. Kings Island's home to a big old steam train, the Kings Island and Miami Valley Railroad, and this picks you up in Rivertown and takes you over to the water park and back. If you're a fan of train rides, not a bad one for you. You'll get some cool shots of Mystic Timbers and Diamondback while you're on the train. And also, if you're going to the water park and the theme park and you like want a string bag or something like that, a good way to get there because it's a long walk to get back to that water park. No problem waving, kid. There's your 15 seconds of fame. You're welcome. Keep going. You keep going, I keep going. You keep going, I keep going. You keep going. You keep going. Oh, he's really into waving. He's done. So I do like this section of the park. It's kind of nice and peaceful. Not a whole lot over here, but there's a big lake and a scenic spot for an old swinging ship. So to me, the biggest hidden gem ride at Kings Island is Adventure Express, which is the park's mine train ride. And it's got some theming elements, a whole bunch of tunnels. It uses the terrain. It's got this ridiculous ending with these giant stone temple guards. It's a really fun ride. I love Adventure Express. Hidden gem here at the park. The most classic roller coaster in the park is no doubt the Racer. Now, the Racer to me is kind of a not so great wooden roller coaster. It's okay. That's the best thing. Like when I got off of the ride, my review was like, well, that didn't hurt. And that was kind of like the best thing I could say about it. You know, there is a lot of history with this ride where it did, it's attributed with bringing back sort of the roller coaster craze to some aspects. But for me, it's kind of rough. It's not kind of rough, it's just uninteresting, not really any airtime. It wasn't racing earlier, so maybe that would help. But this one to me, it's definitely a skippable ride here at Kings Island. It's coming back. Going pretty slow.
I'm not addicted to speed. I just have.
Watch as it speeds into the brake run. Whitewater Canyon is the park's River Rapids ride, and not a big water ride guy, so this is it's a skip for me. But I love it. If you walk through the exit, you could go over here and put a quarter in and blast your friends if they're on the ride, or just blast people you don't know and get them even more soaked than they would normally be on the River Rapids. So that's really good. Also, the blasters are only a quarter, which a lot of parks they're way more than a quarter. When they built Mystic Timbers, they did have to change the entrance. The entrance is closer to the Beast now than it was before, and the ride is way back there. Yeah, there goes the blaster. So anyway, this is the Whitewater Canyon. Greetings. Greetings from 314 feet in the air on the top of the Eiffel Tower. There's an elevator that takes you all the way up, and it's awesome. You can wander around, see a whole bunch of stuff. Also gives you a real good idea of how some of these coasters look. Like Mystic Timber is very hard to photograph, but when you come up here, you can see like, oh, that's where it goes. Same with something like Diamondback. The Beast, still very, very tricky, but love coming up here. You get a really, really great view. One thing I can show up from up here that we're not going to do today is Soak City, which is their included water park. We were thinking about going to the water park if we were here yesterday, but some things got messed around with weather, so we didn't end up doing it. But it's an included water park. It's got its own gate, which is really nice, so you can park over there and just walk right into the water park. Some of these theme parks where you have a water park included, you have to walk all the way through the park, and it's really annoying. And they've got a tornado slide, and I love tornado slides. And here's a quick shot of the other side of the Eiffel Tower, the action zone side of the park. Also, you can tell from the parking lot, not overly busy today, as it's a massive parking lot, not remotely filled. Also, a quick shot right next to the park is the Great Wolf Lodge. So you can see those fun-looking water slides sticking out of that hotel. So I have no idea what show we're missing, but Schroeder is playing the piano, Snoopy is playing the trumpet, and it looks pretty adorable. Woodstock's Whirlybirds is a wonderful attraction here in Planet Snoopy. It's like a little kid's monorail, and it goes throughout about half the land, so you can see them like way off in the distance over there. I think it's one you need a kid to ride, so if you're an adult and you want to go on a fun little monorail ride, probably not going to happen. But also there's some sort of really adorable stuff here in Planet Snoopy, like a little kid's car ride. Like it's really nice, well done land, and that's why it gets the rave reviews it does. Molly likes the little monorail.
I like them both. That's a good track for a little car ride.
It is. So I love this photo op. Gotta say, a little questionable that it's right next to First Aid. Probably the highlight of the Planet Snoopy area is the Woodstock Express, which is a miniature wooden roller coaster, probably 30 or 40 feet tall, designed for kids. Been at this park for a while. Really cool. It's had a bunch of different names. It went by Beastie for quite a bit. And it's a really adorable little ride. I love having a kids wooden roller coaster in a park. Adults can ride too on this one, so that's a plus if you're a coaster credit person. And I mean, it's kind of a fun little ride. So as a new special event for the park, it's a Peanuts celebration. So they got all sorts of really fun photo ops. Like Molly, run over there. Only so she could show off how this photo op works. So that's a really fun photo op. Over here, they've got the kite eating tree. But let's turn around. And Molly's having a birthday party with Snoopy and all of her favorite Peanut pals. So while Planet Snoopy is known for their kids' rides, they actually have a large selection of rides for the whole family, some of which are really good, like the flying scooters here known as the Woodstock Gliders. Super fun ride. Over there you got a roller coaster adults can ride, the Flying Ace Aerial Chase. Not the best ride there. And if you go over here, unfortunately not running right now, what is also a really, really fun ride is Surf Dog, which is one of these big kind of Zamperla disco type rides. You're not riding in the wheel on this one, you're riding in sort of the surfboard kind of thing. But again, a really fun ride. Also love the entrance with Woodstock on the lifeguard stand and Snoopy and Joe Cool pose. Snoopy's Barnyard is in Planet Snoopy. It's really cool. It's a petting zoo with a bunch of neat animals. Look at these llamas. Big old llamas. Oh, he's coming right over. Hi. Yeah, a little llama. I actually think it's really neat. Right? We got these awesome fuzzy cows over here. You want to feed the animals, it's about $2. And look at this guy. And then my favorite part, they've got these adorable bunnies. Look at how cute. Little ears. Anyway, clearly used to be a stage show. I think they might still use it for stages sometimes, but I like it way better as a petting zoo. I think it's neat. And obviously, you can get attacked by the goats if you feed them. Kings Island's most famous snack is the blue soft serve ice cream. They've been selling it for years, and it is available in the Planet Snoopy section of the park here. Not going to be super cheap. The classic cone is about $5. This year in the Kings Island Theater is Gravity, which is a Cirque du Soleil style show based in space. And this is the park's the big theater. This is where you always have the big shows, you know. I remember coming to this park, I think it was in like 2000, and I saw like Paramount's Movies on Ice, with like a Star Trek Borg segment on ice. This show, actually, I liked it a lot. Molly, now, I guess you see more stage shows and stuff than I do. What did you think?
I really liked it. This show was way better than some cruise shows we've seen.
Which is not saying much.
It is not saying much, no. But like the fact that they have props and everything.
Yeah.
Their sets were pretty in detail.
Yeah, they had also like a lot of different kind of circus performers. You had BMX guys, you had a juggling, like a black juggling act, a laser man act, a really cool balancing act. He was probably the star of the show. That guy did a really good job.
Definitely.
Hula hoop act, like a whole bunch of different acts.
Bikes,
and I love the way this show began with like space guys getting off of a spaceship, and they plant a Kings Island flag in the moon or whatever planet they're on. Really good show for a regional theme park, I thought.
And it's nice air conditioning.
Oh man, I've gotten so sunburnt and hot today that half an hour break in the air conditioning really needed. Some wonderful classic theme park stuff here with the big floral clock. Big props to the goblet toss game, as it's got my favorite prizes in the entire park. You've got sharks eating donuts and pizza, and sea otters. A big change to the park for 2018 is that Dinosaurs Alive is no more. It closed up. It's no longer a part of the park. And I really think that this corner of the park here is ripe for the next expansion of Kings Island. You've got the old action theater that used to show like Days of Thunder and things like that is back in this corner of the park, and Racers Turn Around. Dinosaurs Alive was back here. It's a corner of the park that really feels very dead. Windseeker, which is constantly down, is over here as well. So I feel like the next expansion, the next big expansion to Kings Island is going to be in this section of the park. I'm hoping for a Giga coaster, maybe an RMC coaster, one of those. Love it. Hey Molly, what time is it right now?
Beer 30.
Beer 30, yes. We're here at the beer garden section here at Kings Island, drinking some really nice beers, 16-ounce crafts, running to about $10. But their tap selection, man, it's good. We went inside, had a beer at the Fest House, not a good tap selection, all domestic. Out here you got like a Christian Roll and Hefeweizen. And then check out some of these. I'm drinking a Blood Orange IPA, there's a Palisades Pineapple, a Goose IPA, so you got some solid craft beer selections here. Also full liquor bar, so if you want a liquor drink, you can do that, frozen drink. Only problem with this bar, it's outside, but I love the beer selection. Check that out. I don't even know what a strawberry pig is, but I'm gonna come back and try it. So I like this. They got a couple of shirts with like an 8-bit kind of very Nintendo-esque design. They've got one for the Beast. And over here they've got one for Diamondback. Could definitely see myself ending up with one of those. Not operating right now is obviously Son of Beast, but the station is still here. And it is home to the Wolfpack Haunted House. Wonder if that haunted house is too sweet. I mean, don't turn your back on the Wolfpack. You might end up in a body bag. So something tells me I will probably not be riding Drop Tower today. Holy crap. Look at that line for Chick-fil-A of all things. That's longer than the lines I've seen for any of the rides all morning so far. Guess people really love their chicken. So I love this. They've got a bin of lost and damaged cell phones, advising you to secure all your loose articles. And I also love that it's all like really old cell phones from the late 2000s when this ride opened up. There's a couple merch items I really like in this store. You've got a glass kind of moonshine jar with the Beast logo on it. And then I also like this. It's just ridiculous. It's a big Beast foam finger kind of thing. Also got some tie-dye shirts, which are not, if you're into tie-dye shirts, could be your thing. This giant eyesore of a building is the old Tomb Raider and the Crypt ride. Been closed for 4, 5, 6 years now as the roller coasters swing by. And this is like a prime real estate. First of all, one, it's ugly. It's just kind of ugly. And you can put something great big indoors in there, especially with Kings Island doing a Winterfest event now, and it gets very cold in Ohio in the winters. The more indoor rides they have, the better. So I'd really like to see them do something with this building. I mean, that's a giant building. It's got to be well over 100 feet tall. They do still have the old themed entrance to Tomb Raider or the Crypt. I'm guessing they probably use it for a haunt now. In the shadow of the Eiffel Tower, just off of International Street, is what is now referred to as the Tower Gardens. This is one of my favorite throwbacks to back when this was a Paramount park. I believe this was known as like the Paramount Story, and you would walk through and all these different, they've all been wiped, but these used to have all different like famous movie names on them and things like that. I'm kind of surprised this area still exists. I should definitely see, a ride going in here at some point. So they have a ton of different midway games here at Kings Island, but the annoying thing is to play any of them, you gotta get a game card, and the minimum purchase for a game card is $5. So if you want to play any game or an arcade, you gotta spend at least $5. Like I want to play one or two and spend like, you know, $1 on one and maybe $2 on another, but I don't want to spend $5. I don't like that. So I really like some of these little kids stuff. Like they've got onesies that says, like, just wait till I'm taller, Diamondback, and just wait till I'm taller, Banshee. Like that's such an adorable line of merchandise. Today at Kings Island, we bought the all-day dining, so for about $30, you can eat meals all day long. So in this section of the video, we're going to show you off just what meals we got on our eating adventure, starting off with Skyline Chili. Of course, we're in Cincinnati, you got to get Skyline Chili. So meal number one is pretty massive. You get 2 cheese conies, which are little hot dog kind of things, and then a giant basket of fries. Obviously, like Skyline, it's pretty fantastic. I like this better than like the multiple ways pasta thing, so I was happy that I get to get some dogs. Restaurant number 2, one of the ones I was looking forward to is Tom and Chi grilled cheese melts, grilled donuts, and we're not going to get it because it's not included with the dining plan, but check this out. They have a grilled cheese donut option. All right, we got the barbecue grilled cheese. Molly, go ahead and give that a taste. It came with the grilled cheese sandwich, fresh, they cooked to order, and then a selection of chips. Molly loves grilled cheese, so this was one thing that she was excited about. And then just a bag of normal Lay's potato chips. Looks good. Looks like it's barbecue and then some like chips or crisps or something in there. Or maybe onions, maybe it's onion. Molly, what do you think?
It's really good.
Really good.
I'm interested in how the donut one was.
Yeah.
But that's...
In 2018, Kings Island did not add a new ride, but they did build a brand new restaurant, and that's where we're going for meal number 3. So as a theme park dork, I love this restaurant. It's themed to all the old rides that used to be in this section of the park, or are currently in this section of the park. And then along with that, they got a whole bunch of vintage pictures of things like the big double Ferris wheel they used to have, and you know, all these completely retro pictures of the Coney Mall section. You can see the big fun slide they used to have. I wish they still have that. I love a good fun slide. And then like the big double Ferris wheel. Get some of the food here. Barbecue chicken, rotisserie chicken, and then pulled pork, sausage, tri-tip, ribs, a whole bunch of sides, hush puppies. I hope Molly won't hush puppies. And then side one hush puppy too. So quick review on what we got. We got the pulled pork sandwich. Pulled pork sandwich is fantastic. I mean, that's a really, really good sandwich. Hush puppies, they're just okay. A little dry. We need some sort of like butter or dipping aioli or something like that. But the sandwich is fantastic.
Like a honey butter would be amazing.
Meal number 4 comes from the Rivertown Potato Works, and it's boneless wings, which is weird because they don't come like tossed in sauce or anything. It did look like it was going to rain, so we seek cover in a nearby Reds Hall of Fame grill. We'll probably eat here in a little bit, but let's give it a little taste test, Molly. How are these boneless wings?
You mean chicken nuggets?
Yeah, they like, I think like with that sauce, they're chicken nuggets. These fries look incredible.
With the sauce, are really good.
Yeah, all right. The fries are good. Time for meal number 5 at Hank's Mexican Grill. It's burrito time. We got a spicy beef burrito. I think there's rice and cheese. Molly, give this thing a whirl. First of all, for meal like 5, it is so heavy that it seems like a bad idea. A shot of the innards of that burrito. How spicy are we talking on this beef?
That was all rice.
It was all rice. Update. About medium spice. And that'll do it for our day here at Kings Island. I had an absolute blast. First time I've been to this park in 4 years, and I really like it. It's a winner in my book. The highlight, definitely their roller coaster collection. They've got a lot of really great stuff at the top, iconic stuff like the Beast, great new stuff like Mystic Timbers, Diamondback and Banshee are great B&M rides. And then I like a lot of their more unique rides too. Like I love Adventure Express. I'm somebody that thinks stunt coasters really fun. I love the Bat. They got some fun flat rides. We did Windseeker and Delirium. I'm a fan. I like this park a lot. I had a lot of fun. We did the dining plan. We ate ourselves. I am so full.
We
so
had a lot of food.
like uncomfortably full. Right now, if we wanted to, we could go eat another meal. It's been 90 minutes. We cannot. There is not enough room for that much food.
It's
Now,
a good selection too with the food.
yeah, if you're coming here, I would definitely recommend. I'm not sure if you're supposed to split the dining plan or not, but split the dining plan with your buddies. It's a good deal. All right, so Molly, what were your thoughts on Kings Island here?
I think I agree. The collection of roller coasters is really good. I feel like they have everything that you would want, like different brands and variations and variety. So that's good. The Boo Blaster is
We
in
just got
really
off that.
bad
That's in bad shape.
The employees are great. They're very friendly.
Their dispatch times on the roller coasters, they are good.
Yeah.
Like some of the best.
They're friendly as well as great operational.
Yeah.
Like they dispatch in a timely manner.
No surprise, all the bartenders we ran into, very friendly.
Yes. Overall, it's a really good park.
Yeah, some weird musical choices. We heard 2 different songs from the Hairspray soundtrack, Phineas and Ferb, and Moana. So that was kind of neat. I had a blast here. Now, whenever I come to parks, I like to think, what do I want to see them do? And for me, Kings Island, it's on the roller coaster side. I would love an RMC, and I'd love a Giga coaster. And then I also want like a modern dark ride. Boo Blasters is not good. You've got a couple of holes in your lineup. If Six Flags is doing things like the Justice League, I want you to be doing something like Justice League. I mean, I would love to see like a Peanuts version of Justice League, like with those characters. I think you can do a really good job with that. What do you think, Molly? What's missing here?
I agree, more dark rides, especially if they're trying to do Winterfest.
Yep.
I don't know what you're doing here in the winter whenever it's
You're valeting the wooden roller coaster in the snow.
Yeah. You need more indoor rides, I feel like.
And I think you need help in that back corner of the park by where Windseeker is. That definitely needs some attention. That needs some love.
Yes.
All right, well, that'll do it for our time here. We are wrapping up this video early so we could go ride some night rides on Mystic Timbers and Beast before driving 2 hours to Kentucky and going to Kentucky Kingdom tomorrow. Look for that video to come up soon. But for now, we're going to wave goodbye from
Bye.
Kings Island. Thanks for watching, everybody.